reason why he says that is because he sees color. The Democrats are the real racists.
Good talking point, Candace. The Democratic Party is the party that elected the first black president. The Democratic Party is where 90% of African Americans, and I'll say this again, 90% of the African Americans in 2020 will vote Democrat and not Trump, Candace. You know that, and I know that. Those
I can't wait to laugh at you. You know what? Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. I cannot wait to play. Look at me. I want you to hold this right now. We're going to play this tape back when Trump wins and Trump cracks the black vote. When we're going to.
How many?
And I'm
what's
going
your percentage?
to laugh
What's
in
the
your
percentage?
face because don't cut me off. Don't cut me off.
Don't cut me off.
Don't cut me off. He is going to move the black vote 20 points in 2020. I will guarantee you that. 20 points. Because black Americans are no longer listening to this foolishness. This is the bigotry of low expectations. For you to say that I can't be president because I'm a conservative, because I have common sense and I know that Democrats, I'm a Republican, I have common sense and I know that Republicans freed the slaves and Republicans are again the ideological slaves. You need to stop cutting me off.
Good talking point, Candace.
Stop cutting me off. Stop cutting me off.
Stop cutting me off. Stop cutting me off. Stop. Good talking point. Candace Owens just said on national TV that 20%, now it's a personal attack.
20%.
Candace Owens just said 20% of African Americans will vote for Trump. That will never happen. There's no facts for that.
Just like it would never happen that Trump would win, right?
And you will never be nominated as a Republican. Ever.
Bet you I will.
Okay, this is,
He's just racist.
Leo has said a bunch of wild things.
He's just
but
racist.
He's asserting an opinion or a projection as a fact. This is what the Democrats on Capitol Hill have done for the last 3 months. I have a hard break, so I'm rolling into a hard break. But that was classic liberal speak. Don't fall for it. I love Leo, but don't fall for that.
Last night on Hannity, civil rights attorney Leo Terrell made a stunning pronouncement. It's been coming for the last couple of weeks as he faces off night after night with smiling Larry Elder on nearly every edition of Hannity. Last night the topic was the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party.
When is this thing going to stop? Barack Obama, I understand, from his mom's side, had slave owners. From his dad's side, he came from a region of Africa where a lot of slave selling took place. And so should we take Obama's name off of every building because of his connection to slavery? The whole thing is absolutely, totally absurd. And never mind, slavery was something that took place in every corner of the earth, every race on the earth. And the Barbary pirates took more whites out of Europe, out of the Mediterranean area, than did European slavers take blacks out of Africa to the colonies. So when are we going to stop all this nonsense? We should take advantage of the available opportunities we have right here in this country. It is why people are braving shark-infested waters, for crying out loud, to get here, because it is the greatest country that God ever created. We got to stop whining and realize we have a tremendous amount of potential here, and let's get to work.
You know, Sean, this is why I stopped drinking the Democratic Kool-Aid. I can't take this hypocrisy anymore. It's ridiculous. This is what bothers me about this whole thing, that the Democrats, just because there's a D in their name, they could be a racist. That statement by Joe Biden is so offensive, and then you get Spike Lee out there and say, it's okay. That's offensive. If any Republican said the same thing, I don't need the Democrats to insult me or try to placate me with African garb, Nancy Pelosi. Pass some laws, pass some reforms, show me something other than some type of condescending act just because you're a Democrat. That doesn't follow anymore. Last point, Democrats, please leave the party. If you want law and order, you cannot get it from the Democrats.
That sounds like you're voting for Donald Trump,
Sean,
Leo Terrell.
Sean,
are you voting for Donald Trump?
Sean,
Whoa, Larry, this is a very important question. That's for Leo.
I'm not voting for Joe Biden. I am not voting for Joe Biden. And if he puts Kamala Harris on, I will vote for Donald Trump. Let me point out one thing. I'm asking every Democrat to do your research on Richard Russell and Robert Byrd. Robert Byrd, who Clinton and Biden eulogized, was a Klan member. That means he was anti-Catholic, anti-Jew, and anti-black. You have to leave the Democratic Party.
Leo,
get out of there.
All right. Powerful.
And Leo, not just a Klan member, Leo. He was a recruiter. He was a Kliegel. He recruited others. He wasn't just your regular run-of-the-mill Klan guy. He was an executive. Yeah.
Don't let the Democratic Party trick you, please.